This video is brought to you by LogRocket, the front-end performance monitor that records videos of user sessions along with logs and network data, surfacing problems and revealing the root cause of every bug. Try it today at logrocket.com/YT.
Welcome to this video where I'm going to be teaching you how to use local storage in JavaScript. So I've got a bunch of boilerplate here and I don't want you to worry about this particular function or what's going on down here. Basically, local storage is pretty universally accepted now. It's been around a long time. Browsers are supporting it. Like I've got a comment here saying it is supported by major browsers, including IE 8. But if you do want to check if local storage is supported or not, you can use this nice nifty if statement here. You could stub local storage if you are requiring to test local storage. Alternatively, you could, put something in place. I guess most transpilers have this now anyways, where they check if local storage is there or not. But essentially, local storage is just a small SQL-like implementation, and I definitely know that's true for Chrome. And I'm going to show you how to use it. It's very useful. You may have heard the term local storage and session storage. Session storage is more transient. It goes basically once the user's done with your browser, browsing your website essentially, or if they kill down the browser completely. But basically what I've got here, I've got a bunch of event listeners that I just check in for clicks. So in total, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, yeah, 5. And then what I have here is just a bunch of buttons, and these buttons, what they do is they basically basically just fire off whatever will be in this scoped callback. So I don't need to worry too much about what's going on the left side, nor the HTML. This is just so we can see the implementation. I've got a H1 here, and below should hopefully show us what's going on in local storage. So you can store information in here, and if you go to application on Chrome, you'll be able to see it inside here. And you can check this on other websites as well to see what they're storing for you. When it comes to local storage, there's certain stuff you want to store in there, such as maybe you've got some game information in there, or maybe you've got some information around what a user's configuring on a product website. There's a bunch of stuff you can use it for, and it's very useful, but don't go ahead and store anything in there that's could potentially open you up to vulnerabilities. Don't be storing anything sensitive in there. So to begin, as you can see, these buttons do nothing. Nothing's happening. But there's a bunch of commands that we're going to implement here. And the first one is, if we just jump in here, we can do Window.localStorage. And we're accessing the window here, which is the browser, and we can say setItem. You can see here I get a bunch of suggestions as to what we can use in local storage. So you can get getItem, removeItem, setItem, clear, and we're going to get to all that. But first, let's just set an item in local storage, which will set a name. Once we have name, we can go ahead and just put Carl Hadwin in there. Let's give that a save. So we're adding an item in here. I've got this useful function here that's going to update the UI, which is essentially just going to give me what's in local storage here. It's a little easier to see. So if I do add one item to ls, there you go, you can see it's in local storage. Now you can also check in application. And you can see here, it's in local storage. So we have a key and a value. So that tells me we can store singular items, or if we want to get more complex, we can start using, objects. So why don't we do one that is an object? So we can do Window.localStorage, and at this point we can actually omit the window. So we can just say local storage, setItem, and I want to give this a key of users. Even though it's just going to be one user, but if you can imagine, you could have multiple users in here. But when you actually go about storing like an object in local storage, you can't just dump it in there as an object. You have to stringify it. So I'll stringify this. I'll set a name, Carl Hadwin. Let's see here, and we'll just say food, pizza. And that should do it. That should allow us to, well, basically have the item in local storage. So let's update the UI here. We can see, and you can always clear out local storage manually by just hitting delete, and it goes. You'll see it's no longer there. So let's add another item to local storage. And this one, oh, syntax error. What are we missing here? We've got user stringify. Let's see. What are we missing here? Oh, why did I put that there? Give that another shot. We can check local storage again. There's nothing in there. Add another item. And there we go. We have an object in local storage. Now it's tricky. You can't just pull out an object from local storage. There's certain things that you have to do. And you'll get used to using JSON.stringify and the other one to be able to access that object. I'll show you now. So we can say const user equals JSON.parse. So when you're putting into local storage, you want to stringify if you've got an object. When you're pulling it out, you want to parse that object. And you can say local storage. And I want to go ahead and get the item of users. Once I have that, well, what can I do with it? Well, let's just update the UI. And we can do this one manually. So get element by ID. Don't worry too much about this here. Just focus on the local storage parts. ls currently, that's my container. Let's see, and then we'll do text content equals, well, what will be in user.food, because you can see here food and name. So I want to get food, which is pizza. So I expect pizza to be shown here. So if I go ahead and say get one item from local storage, that doesn't seem to work. Did we update the UI? We did. We got the user from local storage. Let's see. Oh, here we go. So let's see what's currently in local storage. So we have the user, which is myself. And there we are, pizza. Just needed a refresh. So yeah, that's just getting it. The user object. We can switch this if we wish to name. Give that a refresh, get one item, and there we go. You can pull those out. And if you wanted to add in, say like age, I'll add my age. Change that to age, which was this. Get one item from local storage. You'll see, oh no, it's not in there. Why is it not in there? Well, have a guess. We didn't update the local storage. And by doing this set item here, I just clicked add another item to local storage. It went into this event listener, figured out, oh yeah, Carl has clicked on this. I'm going to go ahead and set local storage. Now you'll see it's overwritten this, and it's not duplicated it because we overwrote it by the key. So that's good. We've got it in there. So now I want the age. I just want the age value. So I'll say get one item, and there we are, 29. So how do we go about removing an item from local storage? Well, removing an item such as this particular key, let's add another item in there. So we've got name, Carl Hadwin. I want to remove this one here. So you can do local storage. This is for a singular item, and you can do remove item. I'll just say name. Then I'll update the UI after. And this should go. So let's just say, see what we've got in local storage, remove one item from ls, which is local storage, boom, it's gone. So how about we go ahead and remove everything? Well, that's very simple. We just do local storage.clear. So let's add a bunch of stuff in there. We've got the users, we've got the name, and let's go ahead and remove everything from local storage. And you'll see it's still here. Why is that? Well, you can see in the application window, the DevTools, it's gone. And you can also access this by just doing either Window.localStorage, and you'll see the length is 1, or you can just type local storage. And you can do local storage.setItem something hello. Oh, let's go back up on that. Let's make sure we close it out. So what's in local storage now? And there we are. And you can access this key by something. It's pretty cool, right? So if we just go ahead and update the UI here, we can play around with what we built. So we can add an item in there, and then we can check what's in local storage now. We have something, and then we have name, and then add another item, which would be an object. So if we go up, you'll see we have this weird string, and that's the object, and that's why you have to parse it. So when you do something like this, we can do user.age, and that would be 29, or user.name, user.age, user.food, and there we are. That's local storage. It's fairly simple. It's really good to use. I use it all the time in projects when I need like a small amount of information. There is like some sort of restrictions, but I doubt you'll hit them. Like some of the stuff that I wanted just to, get across is, I think it's limited on most browsers to 5 megabytes. It's insecure, so don't use it for anything what could potentially harm your users, because they probably won't come back to your website. So no sensitive information in there. But yeah, it's really good. Local storage, very useful, and should be, well, when it comes to asynchronous and synchronous tasks, local storage is synchronous, so just keep that in mind, and you can only execute, like so. So yeah, that's it, local storage. We went ahead and added an item, which is pretty much just window.localStorage.setItem. You can omit the window and go ahead and just add that in there. To set in an object, you want to stringify the object. To get an object out of local storage, you want to basically use getItem by the key, and that is inclusive for any sort of item. And then you want to parse it if it's an object, and then you won't get this sort of stuff here, these backticks. And then to remove a item, just remove it by the key. To clear all, just do .clear, local storage.clear. It's fairly simple. And if I took out, pretty much all the code that was just there for boilerplate, this is what you would end up with, which is basically all your local storage options. Well, everything we just went over is pretty much this. So in essence, local storage is like so. This is basically what it is. SetItem, just key value, setItem, but we're going to put an object in there, so you stringify, getItem, removeItem, clear. Pretty simple stuff. Really, really useful. I'm so glad, browsers have adopted this over the past few years. And yeah, that's it. You can actually, there's some other functions as well, so feel free to jump onto local storage and figure out what's going on. I think you can use like local storage. See what we've got here. Like, there's even key. It's handy when it comes in situations when you want to loop through the key like you would in some sort of array maybe, and you want to get the index and retrieve it by that. I don't know. I don't use that one that much, to be honest, but it's useful, so do check that out. Maybe you could put like 1 in there. Yeah, you get users. 0, name. And that's it. So local storage, let me know what you think. In essence, as mentioned, local storage is pretty much this. That's all it is. Very useful. Keep in mind, as mentioned, it is synchronous, 5 megabyte limit. And yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully you learned how to use local storage, and I'll see you later.
Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed the tutorial, you can see the full tutorial in our blog post linked in the description below. And if you want to see more videos and tutorials like this, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and leave a comment in the comment section below. You can also find more tutorials and videos we've already posted on our YouTube page.